Kyler Murray did tear his ACL, is done for the season. It was also announced today that Steve Keim, the general manager, is taking an indefinite leave of absence to deal with health concerns. Not much else said other than the team asking for privacy at this time. I cannot imagine, after inking that deal, this has been about as rough a response to that contract and a very much a season of expectations as I can imagine.
Yeah, I think for a lot of reasons, like this is probably about the worst case scenario that the Cardinals could have foreseen, right? Where you give out the extensions to the three most important people in basically any
Yep.
football organization, and Steve Keim, he's got what he's going on, but even just looking at the job he's done objectively, it's not like that Cardinals roster, especially on defense, is really stacked with talent. Kyler has had his struggles, and Kliff is attached to that. It almost seems like, and they're not the only one, but it seems like there's a few teams where the worst case scenario has happened this year, and I would just love to know like what the owner is thinking. You've handed out hundreds of millions of dollars to these three guys this offseason, and right now it just looks totally untenable. There's been long stretches where Kyler Murray has looked like an MVP caliber quarterback, but that hasn't really happened since like the middle of last year when the Cardinals were really atop the NFL standings. But you've gotten to a point where it's all falling apart. We'll see what ends up happening with Keim and his health issues causing him to stay away from the team. But man, like this is probably about the worst that the Cardinals could have envisioned things going this season.
I mean, I don't know that this is really that dissimilar a situation, albeit on a different sort of continuum. It's in a different part of the continuum than Denver, but
right.
You just signed the quarterback to the extension. He's not going anywhere. Okay. So if Steve Keim can't build around him, if Kliff Kingsbury can't make it work with Kyler, then Kliff we're going to look at him the same way we're looking at Nathaniel Hackett and saying, well, it can't be the quarterback because the money says it can't be the quarterback. And, the one thing I would say about the Cardinals is it's hard for me to believe that ownership is, I don't want to say they're cheap, but they're cheap.
Right.
I don't think, it was that extension alone was, was a big deal. I just don't think this is the ownership that walks away from money, whatever's left guaranteed for Kliff, whatever's left guaranteed for Steve. So to me, I would think that 2023 is kind of it. It's sort of okay, this is it. Either you figure it out, you get the calculus right. Kyler stays healthy for an entire season, which again has not happened over the expanse of his career. I would think there's a mandate, particularly for Kliff.
I'm in the camp where I don't think that bringing Kliff back for another year is really the worst idea that you can have, because maybe you can find some lightning in a bottle and you figure out what was going on that caused you to be so bad this year and you get back to it. But this has to be it, because you don't want to waste any more money or time, quite frankly, than they already have coming into the season and what's transpired this season. So, I think a 1-year ultimatum for everybody is fair. I think it would be hard for like most owners to bite the bullet. Like, we just paid you all this money and now we're going to pay you not to work for us. I don't think so. So 1 more year, see if it works. If not, I think it's fair to move on for everybody.